Welcome to Two Bitches and a Broom podcast with your host, Charlie and Krys. Welcome to Two Bitches and a Broom podcast, episode I don't know, and we're here.
I love it.
So, thank you everyone for joining us, and I guess we'll kick off this. We're going to do a little something different this episode. We're going to do a little mini general channeled message, collective, whatever flows and comes, is what we'll go with. And so whatever guided messages that whoever is listening needs to hear, take what resonates, same old kind of spiel with readings, take what resonates, leave the rest. I always say take what resonates, like post-it note the rest, because it could come back around. Some things are, for a later time or based off of choice. So, cool beans.
Yeah.
You ready? Yes. Okay. All right. How do you feel this collective energy current is at the moment? I feel like there is a lot of, well, I've been noticing there's a lot of shifting, major shifting and separation happening with individuals, relationship, professional, personal, romantic, platonic, all of, and it feels like it's really cranked up a notch lately. That's kind of the gist of what I've been getting, what I've been feeling, and what I've been witnessing with people. And I feel like lately, too, it's kind of throwing a lot of people off, feeling in limbo, not knowing what to do. I feel like limbo is kind of the theme right now for a lot of people. I don't know if that's what you've been kind of observing through, but that's what I've been picking up on.
Yeah. I mean, I know that a lot of my clients and students alike, they refer to themselves as, again, that limbo, not moving forward, not moving back, just kind of sitting still, and not really sure of what that next step is, or where that's going to lead them. So it's what I call the empirical pause, and I think we all go through that at different junctures in our life. But personally, my observation is there is a plethora of individuals who are experiencing the same exact thing, which definitely is a shift, a collective shift.
Yeah.
I think as people become more aware, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think that as people are becoming more aware, or opening, or whatever word that you want to put on it, I honestly believe that universally people are becoming more open, but also learning to be, here comes the word, more selfish, right? And we have been trained from the time that we have exited the uterus, selfishness is bad. And it's not. You have to take care of yourself first. You must take care of yourself first. That is not a bad thing, to choose you first. And I think that's why we're seeing relationships dissolve, whether it's romantic or whether it's personal or platonic. These relationships are dissolving because they're actually not serving you.
Right. Yeah. That is, that's a great point, because I feel like there's a lot of masks coming off and eyes are being opened. People are realizing who's really for them and who's not for them.
Right.
And I feel like it is causing kind of this internal kind of conflict, because these are big things and boundaries. And we all know, how challenging it is for a lot of people, for majority of people, to establish boundaries and stick to them. Again, because it's perceived as selfish, and selfish is not good, as what we were taught.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like that energy of stepping into that authority in your boundaries and in your practice and your life is
Mhm.
something that spirit's really been pushing the button with people, of like pushing that envelope of like, you need boundaries. You need to have this in place. You cannot, and I don't like to ever say, I mean, like, do live your life, make your own. I lovingly don't care what you choose to do with whatever the fuck is said. So, you're going to make your own decisions. But it has been, I swear, like every time I talk to somebody lately about this, it's been more like that tough love. Uh, this is necessary. This needs to be implemented, kind of stuff, in order for you to move forward. And I feel like that's because the alignment is shifting for a lot of people.
It is.
And I know, like, for some people too, because I keep hearing it, it's like this big faith step of taking this huge leap of faith and this big step and trusting that it's going to work out. But it can seem very scary, because it's like, well, let's see what that step looks like first. If you're anything like me, I'd be like, like, let me just preview it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the step. Just show me first.
Yeah. Can I have a sneak peek?
Just like, I just want to see like the preview of it. What's it gonna look? Trust me, I'm gonna take it. I just want to see it. But I feel like for a lot of people, it is that trusting in that faith to take this huge, big leap of faith and trust, big step forward. Um, so I feel like that's also kind of like, I don't know if you've noticed this too, with the shifting with a lot of people. It's setting them up in their path in a totally different way than they ever perceived. It's like huge changes amongst, like, within their path. I've noticed that too, and I keep hearing that. It's like the trajectory of, we all have where we think we're going to go and what
Mhm.
our plan is. And spirit's like, hold my beer. I'm going to show you what it really is,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But we hold ourselves back. We
Mhm.
don't, we don't, again, I'll take the step. Just let me see it first, real quick.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel like I don't know why this is just something, and maybe this is why they kept pushing for just a general message kind of thing. But I feel like a lot of people need to hear that if you are intending to align with your highest and best path or highest and best timeline, then you also have to trust that what is shifting for you is going to be in alignment with that. And I guess it's human, I'm sure it's like human nature that we all want to have the foresight to see, or the assurance, like you said, like with your thousand feathers, uh,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like it's the thousand feathers is kind of being pulled back a little bit, because the trust is like, spirit's like, do you trust us? Do you
Mhm.
trust that we're taking you here? That
Mhm.
should be enough. The trust within should be enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what I've been noticing and getting lately.
Yeah. I agree. I'm definitely, I mean, at least my clientele is
Mm-hmm.
definitely experiencing that. I think more and more, I've said it before, it's probably getting old, but I am really excited for the time that we are at, because
Mm-hmm.
more and more people are ditching the dogma. They're using their own thought processes, their own belief structures, and they're going, this is what I believe, which is way more empowering. I don't care what you believe. I really don't. But believe it because you are choosing that, not because it was spoon-fed to you. And I think that more and more people are coming to that conclusion on their own. I love it. I think it's a great time.
Yeah, me too.
It's a really great time.
It is. It's weird to feel excited about the current time that we're in, knowing there's all these tower moments happening all around.
Sure.
You know, but I look at kind of the bigger picture of it all. And I actually just had a conversation with somebody, now that I'm thinking about this, earlier today, which the highlight of that was what are you choosing to experience in your reality? What are you subscribing to, right? So this person, we were talking about just having that, like, that plethora of dogma and all of, you know, why can't the world just be all peace and everybody get along? Well, ideally, yeah, we would love that. But, you know, it really came down to experience, like, you are going to set the vibration and the frequency and the tone for your reality. It's the same thing when we talk about, you know, 5 people can be standing at the stoplight waiting to cross the street, and you're going to get 5 versions of various timelines, because we're all in our own.
Right.
And I think it's really important right now to be choosing that choice of your timeline is, like, really kind of building up for a lot of people.
I think that can be really confusing for some people, you know, the whole timeline understanding.
Yeah.
You know, time is congruent. It's a straight path. And you came in here, every single human being came here with a purpose, a divine purpose to develop your soul for whatever reason. And I think that a lot of people forget that portion. You know, there's a very specific reason why you are here, with great intention. You are here. And if you're not developing your soul, then tons of events are going to happen to push you to the path that you were meant to be on, regardless. Sometimes they can be quite challenging. I think every single human being that is a practitioner will agree with me on that aspect, because we've all experienced it. At some point, we have experienced it with great pain. Will we admit that we have all kind of traveled down that road? Right now, I feel, and it's funny because I've listened to quite a few other practitioners who have said there's varying information out there right now. The newest one that I heard was all the karma has been wiped off the slate. There is no more karma. Did you hear that?
But I heard, I don't remember who or how or why I came across that, but it popped up in my awareness.
All the karma has been erased, and now everybody has a clean slate. And I'm like, wow. And pray tell, did you get this information? I don't know. There's just some really interesting theories that are kind of floating around, and I'm not dogging anybody. I mean, to each their own. If that's your belief, cool.
Right.
Regardless, I don't care. Personally, I do not believe a human being, any human being, makes a good or bad choice. I do not believe in bullshit. Every single thing you do, regardless of that choice, it is not good. It is not bad. It is simply a choice. This world is your playground. What are you going to do while you're here? You know?
Right.
This is your opportunity. What you believe, you perceive. What you perceive becomes your reality. That's how you can shift your timeline. That's how you can really, it's about raising your vibration, getting to the closest vibration that you can of your higher self, so you can get into the highest timeline, which quote unquote will make it the best perceived for you. We were not meant to struggle. We are not meant to be here to kind of fight and scratch and claw our way through life. We're not meant for that. And I think more and more people are realizing, people are quitting their jobs because of that. You work to support the lifestyle in which you want to live. You do not live to work. And I think a lot of people are just now kind of catching on to that. And they're saying, no more are the, endless nights that you're doing work that people weren't getting paid for, or staying over, getting early, doing all of that nonsense. People aren't doing it anymore. And I'm excited for it. I'm elated for it.
I feel like the indoctrination of subservient workers is no more, and I think it's fucking fantastic. And that is opening a lot of people up to that, aligning with your highest and best timeline, and really focusing on creating the reality that you want to experience. Because it's all, like I told that person earlier today, the universe doesn't speak in gray. The universe speaks in black and white. So it's only going to feed you what you are emitting out. There is no, oh, well, it's just a moment right now. No, it is simply whatever you choose to accept as your reality, as your choice, your belief system, your thoughts. The universe is going to say, okay, here's more examples of that, because that's what you keep putting out, right? And I feel like with the mask coming off for so many people, and so many people realizing relationships and the true nature of those relationships, and even in career too, of just being over it and quitting. I feel like a lot of people have this excitement about this shift happening, and they're feeling like, let's go do it. But then, oh shit, what did I just do? Is that because you're still shedding off that dogma, that old mentality, and you're still stepping into, that's like that limbo phase where really spirit is telling you, trust and take the leap. Trust it and take the leap. If this is where you're feeling guided to go, and this is where spirit is leading you, follow that and continue to trust that it's going to happen, right? So it's like that one thing that I came across too, and I really liked it. When people say, what's the worst that can happen? How about instead, show me how amazing this is going to turn out. What is the best that can happen? Because if you're saying, what's the worst that can happen? Well, your mental mind already drummed that stuff up, because especially if you're like an analytical person, an overthinker. But instead, why don't you choose to say, how is the universe going to surprise me? Bless me and surprise me. So I think it's a great, exciting time But I feel like with all of the tower stuff happening, events, systems breaking down around everyone, it can poke into that fear of,
Right.
and I feel like some people, I feel like some people have guilt over feeling excited about what's happening in their lives.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like they're
think
shifting and
because,
they're choosing
yeah.
and they feel guilty about it.
Yep. I also think that we have seen for generations, we have seen the deterioration of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where, you call it what you want, being more callous, thick skin, whatever you want to call it. But
Mm-hmm.
we've seen the deterioration of it. I like our generation. Well, I say our, I'm like way older than you, but the resting bitch face,
Mm-hmm.
that's if that was a big thing because
Yeah.
there's such a placidness, like nothing can phase me. um I think is it Gen X? I think that's what the one that they're always referring to, like Gen X. There's nothing you can do that would surprise them or get an emotion out of them because they have
Mm-hmm.
been through the ringer.
Right, right.
There's
Yeah.
like a lot of jokes and memes and stuff like that about it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm noticing is that I'm starting to see the
Yeah.
emotions like on their sleeve, like this is how I feel. I dare
Mm-hmm.
you to counteract with how I feel because you can't tell me how I feel or control how
Mm-hmm.
I feel. And I'm
Right, right.
excited for that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
This is new.
Truth and authenticity
Yeah.
is right there. And I think I do feel like that also is why all of the masks are falling off, why all of the realizations that individuals are having of the true genuine intention of people around them, or the circles they run in, or the career that they've chosen, whatever the reason is. But I feel like that's why all of this deception and facade is all starting to fade away,
Yeah.
because we're all being presented, like I told someone before, to a client, you're right now you're being presented with a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to choose to start truly co-creating what you want to receive in your reality, what you accept as truth for yourself, your belief system. And in order for you to do that, it's kind of like it's like an educated purchase, right? So when you're going to go shop for a washer, I would hope when you're going to go shop for a washer, you're going to look it up, look up the brands, look into everything and see pricing, you're going to do your due diligence. So I feel like this is kind of spirit's due diligence point, where all of these truths are coming out, all of these revelations are happening, because you need to make a choice. Are you going to let fear hold you back and stay in the bullshit,
Right.
or, not create those boundaries because, oh, they might get upset, or I was taught not to. It's like, um, especially like in the certain cultural backgrounds, you respect your elders because they are simply your elder. No question. They can be a total
Yeah.
dick,
Yeah.
but you better respect them, and
Yeah.
so that kind of stuff, where you're going to just fall back into uh that dogma and that really conditioning, or are you going to choose different? But you need all of the information for you to make that choice. So I feel like timeline, I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is the point that we're at. And I feel like the intensity of this energy is only going to increase as we get into the end of this year,
Oh yeah.
even into next year.
I agree.
Like that great divide is happening. And I feel like for a lot of people, maybe this is why we're talking about this, are feeling really conflicted of really taking that leap of faith and making that big step to wherever it is, but and not understanding why all of these relationships are fading away, breaking down, careers, like there's no passion in it anymore, no desire. I even talked to somebody who was like, it makes me physically ill to know that I have to go here and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think you came here to work a 9 to 5?
Hi.
Do you think that you came here to slave away in your 9 to 5 and not have any
Joy.
time or joy, happiness, no experience, nothing, do you really think that you came to exist in that kind of way? It baffles me. I don't get it, No, you came here to experience all of the things that your soul can experience while you're here, whatever your contract entails,
Yeah.
your stuff, but you also came here to thrive, not just exist,
Yep.
right? So, and unfortunately, there's going to be people in your circles who are not going to be that vibrational match, not going to making their own choices, and that's their own choice, but
For
it's going to
sure.
be something that you can't run in the same circle, you can't play in the same playground anymore, and that's okay. But it can be challenging for a lot of people that are experiencing that kind of energy and stuff, and that big shift happening. And it's not the funnest to go through that shift and go through that divide, but again, if you're trusting and you're choosing to align, parts have to be, shifted. Players have to change, all of the stuff. You can't
I
choose to
agree.
align and then still keep playing in the dirty playground that you've been playing in.
I
I'm
like that.
sorry, you can't.
Playing in the dirty playground.
Playing
I
in the
like
dirty
that one.
playground. You can't do that. That because then you're just giving conflicting signs to, the universe, to spirit. Yeah, I want to, but I'm still holding on to this. And they're like, yeah, that's not how that works. You have to let go. So it's fun times right now.
I think that there's so much chaos um that is I got to be really careful on how I say that, you know what I mean, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
represented on our planet,
Yep.
that is one thing that spirit has repeatedly said to me in the last little over a week, has repeatedly said is, we're so conscious of what we put into our body to feed our body,
Mm-hmm.
food wise, and we're so conscious of how our body appears to other individuals, yet we're not very conscious of what we're taking in visually or
Mm-hmm.
auditorily that is
Mm-hmm.
affecting us vibrationally.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Yeah,
watching
that's
something
true.
and it's negative, what do you think that's doing to your vibration? Don't
Mm-hmm.
believe everything that you are seeing on that. Don't make that part of your belief, because again, what you perceive, you believe, and what you believe becomes your reality. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, do you want that part of your reality? If you're watching, a bunch of stuff that's happening and it's horrible, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so worried, I'm so concerned. The universe is hearing that and they're going to go, oh, she enjoys worrying. She enjoys concern. Let's give her more of that. No, thank you,
You're right.
sir. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I'm not saying bury your head in the sand, ignore what's going around you. I'm not. I'm saying be careful of what you cultivate as part of your reality.
Yeah. I told a student, we were talking about that actual very same thing. And I said, you know, it's not to be ignorant to the things that are happening around and to the events that are taking place. And it doesn't mean that you don't have compassion for those that are experiencing those things, right? But if you are, if this is kind of what the world is shifting right now, individual paths are shifting into at the moment, right? This great divide happening. Then focusing on your lane, you're making that conscious choice, right? So if you're seeing that, scrolling and seeing stuff, you think, wow, I was like, instead of scrolling and stopping and getting worked up and worried about it or stressing or having fear or anything like that, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Not in my timeline though, and just you still have, your heart goes out to all of it, to whatever the case may be. It doesn't make you cold, but you're also mindful of what you're choosing to allow to enter into your energy, the vibration that you're choosing to emit, right?
Yeah.
So because it was um this student was really so consumed with all of that stuff. But you have to remember, if you're aligning and you're going through and you're shifting, and if we think about this great divide that's happening, you're choosing your reality. Consumption, like you said, is not only just how we feed our body, how we look, how we keep our homes. It is also what we are feeding our mind, our mental mind, our awareness, what we watch, what you listen to.
Yep.
All of that makes a difference in your frequency.
It absolutely.
I think that's the part that people forget about.
Yep.
Forget about that. And that's something that it's all encompassing. And I think that's one of the biggest messages too with individuals I keep seeing coming across is it's all encompassing. You are your frequency, you are your experience, you are your belief system, you are your mindset, and it's rippled out into your reality.
Yeah, I challenge whoever's watching. Watch a movie that is a drama. Just watch a drama movie and then watch a comedy. Gauge yourself. How do you feel after you've watched each one? I guarantee after you watch a comedy, you will feel lighter. And that is because it is funny. You are laughing. You are raising your frequency. When it's drama, it's like, oh, it's sad. Oh, I'm engaged. Oh, look at that. Yeah. What you are taking in, what anything visually, auditorily that you are taking in, you are feeding your vibration. If you're listening, this is what I call it in my house. Cry baby, poop my pants music. If you're listening to that, that is not good. That is not good for your vibration. It's just not. It's horrific. You are lowering your vibration. That's all you're doing. You listen to something that's upbeat and happy, and you're going to raise it. That's it.
Yep.
Don't have to take my word for it. Go by how you feel. How do you feel after you listen to something that's uplifting, that has, even if it's something completely silly, if you listen to it comparatively to something that's more like my dog died, my wife left me, I'm dead serious. It literally will destroy your vibration. And we work so hard as practitioners We work
Mm-hmm.
so hard on our vibration. We work on staying in a higher vibratory frequency so we can utilize our clear ability to gather as much
Mm-hmm.
information as we possibly can. Every time you lower that, you're going to be getting, static. It's going to be crap. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's too another great reason why working with your team and understanding your energy. I know we talked about that before, but I am hearing it again of working with your team is such a great aid for you in being mindful, staying mindful of
Yeah,
these things, because once you become aware, you can never become unaware. Unfortunately,
exactly.
there's no erase, rewind and erase button like, remember the old VCRs?
Yeah, I know.
I'm aging myself now. The old VCRs or the old cassette tapes you could erase. There's none of that. It doesn't exist
Yeah.
with your with your awareness. And when you do that, like I had earlier today, I was driving and just thinking of all of the things that I have to do, and then just no time. Then I have a headache that's growing, and all of this stuff. And I'm a big observer, so I pass by this. Approaching this car. It's a little cube. I don't know if they're crossovers. I don't know what the fuck they're called, but they're a cube. They're very cubed
Oh,
cars.
they look like toasters. Is that what they are? The
Yeah, yeah,
toaster
yeah.
car? Yeah.
And the license plate said, "Don't laugh." And immediately I started cracking up.
Yeah.
But again, that's because my guide was probably like, "Yeah, you're getting a little bit too much in your head. Here's that break." And as soon as I started, I read the license plate and started cracking up. Um, Everything felt
Lighter.
lighter,
Yeah.
so much lighter. I stopped thinking about whatever the laundry list of things I have to do,
Uh-huh.
um, and just had a moment to laugh. Shifted instantly.
Yeah.
So, I think when you're working, when you're moving into your timeline, when you're trusting, I mean, you've got to know your guides have your back. Nothing is being done to you.
Yeah.
It's all being done for
For
you
you.
because that is what you are emitting out. And Spirit is shifting so many people into their highest and best path, or waking them up to the fact that you're not here just to, again, be stuck in this 9 to 5 cycle, this
Nope.
systematic programming. You're not here for that. This is not what this was created for in the first place. So it's time to move away from that. But when you're having something like that for so long, um, it can feel scary to step out of that. It's exciting, but it's also a little scary because that's not what we were taught.
I just heard this, so I want to share this. And I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out how I'm going to say that I just heard this. So I'm just going to come out because if you're watching this, apparently there's a reason. If you are actively experiencing resistance in your life and you are trying to push through that resistance, and it seems like obstacle after obstacle, resistance after resistance, stop, take a breath, recalibrate. Life is not meant to be difficult. You need to recalibrate because you are met with resistance, because you are not meant to move forward if there is that much resistance. Too many people, how can I say that? Too many people have been told by their parents, told by elders or other figures in their life that you must keep moving forward, push, do, go,
Mm-hmm.
don't give up, don't give up. And People are have really embraced that, and they have adopted the belief that life will be hard, and they have to keep moving forward. And that is complete bullshit. You have to do nothing but what you choose to. And if it's that difficult and that's that hard, you should not be doing it. You should not be doing it.
Yeah.
It's not.
That reminds me of that. That reminds me of that, like, hustle mentality, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, that irritates the shit out of me. Hustle, like, I'm a hustle, continue to, why? Why? Think about that word itself and take that hustle and just feel the vibration of that word.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does.
It sucks. And take the word align and feel the vibrational difference between how that feels. Hustle and align. I think that goes with like what your message is, keep pushing forward no matter what. It's every obstacle, you just keep going because that's what you're taught. And it's that hustle mentality. I think that's such bullshit.
It is.
And it's just regurgitating that frequency, that vibration of that word, and that old way of thinking, of acting and doing. You face it all and you just continue to push forward and hustle. If you're not getting it done, working 12 hours, then work 13, 14 hours,
Yeah.
No. What the fuck? No. That's not what I really feel that's not.
If you don't like what you're doing, career wise, if you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like who you are with, romantically or otherwise, why are you doing it? Like, that's my question. Don't get me wrong. I understand. You got to put food on the table. You got to work. Get that. Totally get that. Why aren't you putting in applications, resumes at other places? Don't tell me that nobody's hiring, because there's a lot of places hiring. You can switch, you can leave, you can, there are so many individuals who will be ready, willing, able to extend to their best friend or their lover, oh, I'll be there for you, I'll bet on you, I know that this person can do it. Do that for yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Invest in you.
Absolutely.
Invest.
And I feel like too, I feel like there's a lot of individuals too that are expecting like an all or nothing. I feel like, because I'm hearing my guide talk about it, of I'm not happy here, but I know I'm moving here. And it's okay to be in that transition phase. So like you're saying with invest in you, well, if you're not satisfied or feeling passionate or happy or joyful about your work, for example, doesn't mean that you can't still show up and do that, because it is putting food on your table. It is providing for you at this time, right? So I think there's, for whatever reason, and whoever needs to fucking hear this, but it's perfectly okay to accept that at this time, this job is providing for this. But you still have the choice to fill out those applications, to make that profile, to do all of the things, to invest in yourself, to start that business that you wanted to start, work on it while you are. I feel like the outlook that some people are having when they're not satisfied is just, again, vibration is just shitty, because you're looking at it like oh, I fucking hate this job, or it's killing me, it's draining me, whatever, I'm not happy. Okay, you already know all of that stuff. You already are well aware of your feelings for the job.
Hmm.
But it's okay to continue to have it for now and make those changes and moves for whatever you wanted, whatever you're going for, whatever you're being guided to. That's
Hmm.
perfectly okay. I feel like there's some people who are like in that position and looking at their current situation with such like disdain, but then not really setting themselves up for wherever they're being guided to go.
Yeah.
Uh, because you're just hyper focused on the disdain that you're feeling in your current situation.
Hmm.
Nobody's nobody but you decided that that's what you're going to sit in, because you can absolutely choose to
Right.
make peace with where you're at right now, because that's okay. It is doing the things it needs to do while you transition out, right?
Hmm.
It's a temporary thing. Nothing is fucking permanent. The only thing permanent is we're going to exit out of this life at some point,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
know. That's it.
That's the only
That's
permanent
it.
thing that is guaranteed. At some point, wherever that is for you, you're going to make your exit. We
Yeah,
came in, we leave, you know, but everything else in the middle, like you said before, is your playground. So
it is.
what do you have on your playground? What kind of fun things do you have? We all get to do that. We all get to decide. So I don't know whoever needed to hear that, but
Yeah.
it's
And for people who
okay.
are currently in their mind right now going, well, what about all the fuckery that's going on in the world right now? Are you saying that they created that for their playground? And my answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. So I know it's a tough pill to swallow, especially when you look around and you're like, okay, you're saying that I created the chaos that is ensuing in my life. And my answer is still yes. And I know it's a tough pill to swallow. It's tough for me when I had to swallow. Very tough
Oh
for me.
yeah.
You know, the moment that you go, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, what do you mean I created this? I don't want this. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
this. Yeah. But the reality is, like, you are constantly consuming, auditorily, visually, otherwise, atmospherically, environmentally, you are
Mm-hmm.
absorbing negative energy. Then what do you think your life is going to be filled with?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling the universe, I enjoy this, I like this, I want this, you know. Little chefs, little tiny chefs, little shifts is all that you need in order to change the trajectory. Little shifts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Make a change
Yep.
today, one thing, and you'll see every single day be a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Continue to
Mm-hmm.
make those changes. Doesn't have to be on a massive ass scale where you're like tearing everything down and you're rebuilding everything up. Start slow. Start little
Yeah,
tiny things. Make that change and see what a big difference a little tiny change can make.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like gratitude, right? Like, um, you have to remind individuals when we talk about gratitude, it's big ticket items, it's little ticket items. Everything doesn't have to be I mean, we're grateful for the big stuff, of course, absolutely. But I'm also grateful for this cup of water or this
Yeah.
cup of coffee
Yeah.
today, right?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the energy drink that got me through the rest of my afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for, the whatever it is that made your life just a little bit easier that day. Um, that's also part of gratitude.
Yeah.
That's also part of shifting your frequency and your joy, right? Of you're eating that piece of whatever that makes you feel good, or it's whatever gives you that little kick. Great.
Yeah.
That's also gratitude. Big ticket stuff, little ticket stuff. Everyone's not everyone, but there's a lot of people that are just hyper focused on the finish line on step 10, that you're
Yeah.
missing out on the journey of going through that process, right?
Yeah.
And the finish line, again, the only fucking finish line that you're guaranteed to have is at some point you're going to leave this realm, this world.
Right.
That's the only thing. And especially when we think about individuals who continuously raise that internal bar higher and higher and higher, do you really think that you're going to be satisfied with that finish line at this time?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're just going to create another finish line after that and another one after that? Why not embrace and enjoy every step that you go
Mm-hmm.
towards the finish line, you know?
Yeah. And that really falls back into like just mindfulness practice in
Mm-hmm.
general, which is so important for vibration, manifestation for a multitude of reasons. But
Mm-hmm.
if you were thinking about tomorrow, you are missing out on today. There is,
Mm-hmm.
like, I cannot stress this enough. There is no yesterday. There is no tomorrow. We are
Mm-hmm.
always experiencing right now. Let
Mm-hmm.
go of the expectations of tomorrow and yesterday and keep working, living, enjoying, embracing right now. Right now, choose to be happy. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, choose joy. Right now, be grateful. Don't put it off. Don't wait or anticipate something to fall through the ceiling into your lap to bring those things to you. Choose now. Little things, choose now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's excellent. And that's a great reminder for everyone, even watching this, listening to the messages, hearing whatever it is that they need to hear. For whatever reason, we're talking about this. In this moment, right now, you have your power of choice. You can choose to look at things this way, or you can choose this way.
Yeah.
Nobody's business but your own. Um, so, yeah, I think whatever, for whoever is listening or watching this, whoever needs to hear this, I feel like it is so imperative right now in this collective energy of the choice and taking that big step, having faith, um, in moving in your path. And for whatever reason, if you chose, you declared that out, that you were ready to align, you're ready to change, something's got to give,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's the famous one. Something's got to give. I can't. And I'm like, well, okay, well, things are giving. So you got to roll with it. And however that looks like for your path, um, you can't control. That's the part of surrender. You have to allow spirit and universe to do their part. You're doing your part, they're going to do their part.
Mm-hmm.
And again, dirty playground. If you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to move to a different one, you can't stay in the dirty playground. And unfortunately, some of the people aren't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, Not everybody is going to be toe to toe with your frequency.
Nope.
It's just not how that works because everybody has choice. So if spirit is trying to dismantle or break away something that is not serving you for you, or whatever the case may be, why are you still holding on to it?
Yeah.
You're holding on, you're
It's
again, dirty playground. You're holding on
yeah.
to it. Why?
It's like standing, in an ocean, with the
Mm-hmm.
rough waves and you're going against them and you keep going against them and you're like, oh my God, this is so hard. I'm never going to be able to keep doing this. But if you just stop and lay flat and float, it's effortless. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally effortless. And that's really what going with the flow is. Try to be in that flow of universal frequency instead of going against it. So I don't know why I'm going to have to edit the fuck out of this. There's so many things that are just like, I literally saw it in my head, Krys. I know I'm going to have to edit this, but I saw it so clearly in my head and I'm like, holy shit, I will never. Okay. Sorry.
No, I think, it's that it is going in the flow of stuff. And I think of, I'm reminded by this kind of like running little joke in my little family of, oh no, man, I just work here. All of this coming, I don't know, man, I just work here. Of just having that little running thing of, I don't know, I just work here. Because you focus on your own lane, you're doing your own thing, you're maintaining and worrying about your vibe. You're not looking at everybody else's fucking lane of what they're doing, how they're living life, what's going on for them, what are they getting that you're not, all of that stuff. Because again, timelines are never going to be the same. They're never going to match up. They're never going to be mirrored for each other because we are not going to be exactly the same.
Right.
Every single person is different in their own way and living their own contracts, their own destiny, whatever, co-creation, however you want to look at that. But humans make shit so hard. We resist, we fight, we go against, literally staying back. And, like when you're talking about the ocean, it's like, yeah, when you're caught in a riptide, what's the best thing that they tell you to do? Flow with the tide. Going out, it eventually will bring you back, right? Full circle. Eventually you'll come back. But if you try to swim against it, whatever, the same thing, you're resisting. Why? So for whatever reason, I feel like this is something that people need to hear. If you're in this position, if what we're saying and what we're talking about resonates with you, maybe this is your sign, this is your 1,000th feather of going with surrendering that, really embracing the selfishness, not in that way that society has taught everybody that it is, because you need to create boundaries. You need to focus on your own lane because your frequency matter. Nobody else can live your timeline but you. Nobody else. Nobody else. So any final thoughts on, or any final messages that you want to include?
No, I don't think so. I think everything I wanted to say, or they wanted to say, was said. I feel pretty confident in that. Actually, I do want to say one thing. For those of you who are watching and you're like, I really wish that I had, that old saying, the Midas touch. I wish I had that. For those of you who are watching and say, oh, I wish that I had the Midas touch, and it seems like everything I touch is crap right now. Quit telling yourself that. Quit believing that. Change your belief. If you want to have the Midas touch, then believe you have the Midas touch, and you will.
Again, like when they're really adamant, I feel like tough love energy is really coming through with my guides and spirit lately. It really is. And for whatever reason, I don't know. I do know that this energy, this great divide energy, is going to intensify. And you can edit this part out if you want, but the great divide energy, I feel like, is going to get stronger, and it's going to cause more disruption and revealing of things. So maybe this is why they were kept saying, get these messages out today,
Yeah.
because people need to be aware of this and mindful of it when all of this shit starts happening in their own
Yeah.
realities. They need to be mindful and aware and mindful of, oh, this is not happening to me. Things aren't falling apart, they're falling into place. you
Yeah.
know and instead of looking at, like you said, with like the Midas touch, why don't you wake up every morning and say, okay, universe, surprise me and bless me.
Yeah.
It is, it's that, like that, I don't know if you heard of it. A lot of people were talking about like that lucky girl
Oh my
mentality.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky everything works out for me. Why wouldn't you adopt that mentality?
Yeah.
Who's telling you not to?
Yep.
Who can dictate that? And if you're allowing somebody to dictate that, maybe you need to take a look at your boundaries. Maybe you need to like take a look at what you're allowing in your energy and who you're allowing to walk, who you're allowing to direct you in your lane.
My daughter, I know this is going to sound super kooky, but personal story. But my daughter, she was, I think, about 15 at this time, and she would talk about how unlucky she was and how she didn't have this and she didn't have this. She wasn't picked for this, regarding school.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, well, yeah, you are, because you believe you are. She's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, congratulations, you are the winner. You chose it. That's what you are. If you don't like it anymore, then you have to accept that you are lucky. Your word is your
Mm-hmm.
wand. It
Mm-hmm.
literally is your wand. Everything you say, you are creating. Everything you think, you are creating. Everything
Yeah.
you do, you are creating. So she would literally walk around my house in the morning, in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon, on the weekend, and in the evening. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I swear to you, I am not lying to you. I swear to God to this. This child is now in her 20s, and she is the luckiest human being. She all the time, she will order something from Amazon. She will order one item. She literally ordered a pair of jeans last week, got 6, and only got charged for one.
Right.
She's the one that set up the motel that we were staying in.
Mm-hmm.
She got the rate for half. We paid half for the rate. And that's what I mean by adopt the belief. If you adopt that
Mm-hmm.
belief, I'm telling you, really believe it. Really sink your claws into
Yep.
it. Don't fake it till you make it. That's crap. Believe it.
Oh yeah. Fake it till you
Believe
make
it.
it, hustle. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And
No.
I mean, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you think you can or who you think you are or you're not, you're right either way. Either
Absolutely.
way it goes.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I hope whoever's listening to this and watching this heard whatever it is they needed to hear.
It's like a
Who knows
plethora
why?
of messages today. I hope
Like,
everybody
who knows
enjoyed it.
why it came out of either of our mouths? I don't know. I feel yeah, I feel my guide, like, they said what they needed to say.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It was a little here, a little there, a little here,
Little
just a little sprinkle.
sprinkle of all of this. So, you know, man, I hope that those that are listening to this and getting the messages that whatever it is that they need to hear, really take it in, um, and make those choices, make those shifts, big
Yeah.
or small, whatever it looks like, because from what I'm perceiving of this energy, and the difference between the two is, who wouldn't want to be on that uh, higher vibrational side, the higher frequency. And I mean, you're just fucking exhausted from pushing forward and pushing past resistance. And it's like tiring. Who wants to do that shit anymore?
Yeah.
Why? So I thank everyone for listening, watching, joining us for this episode. I hope you heard whatever it is you needed to hear. And definitely leave us your comments, your questions, anything that you want to hear talked about. Let us know if this resonated with you. It was kind of all over the place, but again, it's a collective thing, I guess. So it's whatever comes. I think we're good to go. Thank you all for watching and listening.
Thank you so much. Until next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.